Hello and welcome. Today I have a tutorial on how to make the fraction wheels embroidery files. So for this we're going to need a 4x4 hoop and tearaway stabilizer. You can use water soluble, but tearaway is fine for this. We've got that one hooped up. This is a printout of the sheet of the stitch chart with the 16th sections. We're going to need felt. I suggest you use felt because it's better than using fabric. It doesn't fray, because what we're going to do is we're going to embroider out the divisions and we're going to cut them into separate pieces. So felt is good. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces of felt for the fronts and a piece of felt for the back. I'm going to use green on the back of mine. And also the embroidery thread. So first of all we're going to start by doing the 16th, because that is the smallest one, and for this I've chosen to use this colour felt here. So we've got the hoop, we've got it loaded into the embroidery machine. I'll go and embroider. The first thing to embroider will be the placement stitch, so go and embroider that. So here we have the placement line stitched. What we'll do now is we're going to float the felt on top of this to make sure it covers over. Now you can use whatever method you wish to hold this in place. You can just float it, take it to the machine, you can pin it, you can use spray glue to hold it, you can tape it. With felt I find it's easy, it doesn't shift very much. I'm just going to take it to the machine, float it and do the second step. Okay. So this is the second stage. We've stitched the text 16th, the numeration 16th and the word 16th. Now we're going to put the back on. Now I'm going to use this green felt for the backing. We're going to turn it over and we're going to put this over the top. Okay, now it's entirely up to you how you hold this in place. You can tape it, again use spray glue. I like to pin it from the top. I've got flathead pins. I'm fairly confident that my machine's not going to hit it, so I turn it over and make sure that I've got plenty of felt covering the back. Turn it over and stick a pin up here. I know the pin, the stitching is going to be within this realm here, so I know that this is not going to hit anywhere near where the needle's going to go. So just going to pin there. It's not very flat. There's the back pinned in place. I know that the pins are out of the way where the circle's going to stitch. I know I can safely say that it's definitely not going to hit the heads of the pins. But you must do what you're comfortable with. If you're not comfortable with pinning, please tape or use spray adhesive, whichever method you prefer. So here is the last stage stitch. We have all the segment stitch. As you can see, we didn't hit any pins. So now we're going to take the pins out, remove it from the hoop and trim it. So we take the pins out, we take out of the hoop. Oops. Not giving me a camera, sorry. There we have it. We have it out of the hoop, ready for the stable. I'll just try to move the camera a little bit so it's not in my way. Okay, so now we're just going to tear the tearaway stabilizer from around the wheel. And with scissors we're going to trim around the circle. Not too close to the edge, just trim it around nicely, keeping a little distance away from the edge. Now to trim the section. So what we're going to do is where it's 16 is here, we want to cut straight through the middle, in between the stitch lines. Careful not to cut your stitches. We go straight the way through. So we have this. So we've cut straight through the middle. What I did then was I folded this in half like this. And make sure, so we cut straight between the middle, straight up to the end. Now we're going to cut each one of these up through the middle, in between the stitches, trying not to cut any of your stitches. Go straight up to the edges. So there we have number 16. We have the 16th. We have two pieces. Oops. Let's just put those up there out of the way. We do exactly the same for the second half. Just fold it in half, make sure we get it straight down to the middle. So we're going to cut through the middle right the way down to the end. And there we have it, the 16th circle done. So the next one we'll do is the 10th. Now we'll do exactly the same process for the 12th. Hoop the stabilizer, float the do the placement stitch, float the fabric, stitch the sections and cut. Exactly the same process. So here's the 12th. As you can see, exactly the same. We're going to cut up through the middle, in between the stitches. Okay, we're going to go down through the middle here, and then we're going to do each one as before. There we have it, the 12th section. So we have 16th, 12th, next one will be the 10th, then the 8th, quarters, half and a whole. So here we have the complete set. We have the whole, number 1, we have 2 halves, we have the quarter, we have the eighths, we have the thirds, the thirds on top like that, we have the tenths, we have the twelfths, whoops, we have the twelfths, and finally we have the 16ths. So here we have the complete project, all the fractions from a whole down to 16th.